Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at my fun deck of the format, that being Blaziken Toolbox. This is an idea I'd had conjured up in my brain for quite a bit, and as I started to learn the deck and piece it together, it really started to be quite fun. And obviously it's not a meta deck, before anyone thinks that. This is far from it, it's not consistent enough. It's a deck that can definitely be quite a fun locals deck. I've took it to a few locals, it's done actually okay. But still, well, not this version anyway. This version is the version 2 of this deck. The original version played Pikachu EX, but that was a little bit too complicated and clunky. So I stripped that out and just made the deck more streamlined as best I could. And this is about as consistent as I could get the deck. And of course, if you have any suggestions, feel free to do so. So in the description below, there'll be the usual timestamps to the deck list, the games, and of course, the outro, which will talk about the deck and how I feel about it. But of course, given it's my fun deck, there will be some bias. So as per normal, this is of course focused around Blaziken EX. Now, as a Hoenn boy, because I still have my original copy of Ruby on my Game Boy, Blaziken was of course my starter of, well, Torchic was my starter of choice. And yeah, I'm sorry to all those Mudkip and Swampert fans out there, but I just have a bias for the chicken, okay? Yeah, this is basically part of our energy, so, well, energy engine. So we have the Seething Spirit ability, which I've talked about this ability a few times. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. It can be any basic energy, and of course we play nothing but basic energy. But still, then of course we have Small Assault as the attack, but still, we're not always going to be attacking with Blaziken. We then, of course, have Durant to come up in the Grass Week matchups. Obviously, his HP is a real concern against Grimmstyle, but I'm hoping that we can use this as like a late-game finisher if we can. But if need be, we can obviously attack it when they're on 4 prizes, because obviously we'll be doing 180 damage. Kill them, and then hopefully we don't have to deal with a fully powered Grimmsnarl with Frostlass as well. So, fingers crossed, but I don't think that's going to happen. But then, of course, play a Chi-Yu. Chi-Yu is just a standard attacker. This list desperately needed a single prize attacker. Gouging Fire as well is, of course, a great answer to Cornerstone, but also 260 is nothing to sneeze at. Then, obviously, we play a 4-2-3 line of Blaziken. We play a bunch of different other attackers, but obviously we'll cover that in the deck list. Which, speaking of that, let's go to the deck list and let's have a look. And welcome to the deck list. So, one thing that you could potentially put into this list, and I'm going to say straight off the bat, is a Reshiram. Now, my issue is in my experience, setting up 3 chickens in a game, not going to happen, Chief. And obviously we only play 2 Night Stretchers, so if we're getting all of our energy into the discard, it's quite hard to actually get a late game Reshiram swinging. It's a lot easier to just get a Bloodmoon going and boss for game. So I've stuck with the Bloodmoon boss strategy for endgame, not Reshiram as like a big final swing. Obviously, if I can find a way to refine this list a little bit more, there's a high chance that I will do that. But for now, I'm going to stick with the Bloodmoon and the boss strategy for late game. And even then, Bloodmoon, just in general in late game, is good enough, so yeah. As I said, we play a 4-2-3 line of the Blaziken. I'm playing the 90 HP Combusken. This is just personal preference. This can deal with a Charmed Badoo a lot easier. Obviously, that's not as common now, but I like to still have an option to play around it. We then play a 2-2 line of Zoroark EX. Of course, we do have the Night Joker attack, which we can copy with Reshiram. Reshiram is our only way to copy the attack, although we can copy Scratch if we really want to. But generally we're using this for its draw, obviously discarding mainly an energy card and drawing 2 cards. But then of course we can use the Reshiram copy as an attack when needed. We don't just play this as our dark type coverage, but we'll cover the second attacker in a moment. We then of course play Munkidori. If you're playing dark energy, you kind of need this card. Fez, we're playing a Lillie's Clefairy as well. Gouging Fire, which has already been mentioned. And of course, Roaring Moon. Roaring Moon is a really interesting card to sneak into here, because obviously we do play a good number of Dark Energy to actually accommodate for this. Obviously I would want to play 4 Dark Energy, but I needed to make room for a second Psychic, because of how important Clefairy is at the minute. So unfortunately, Dark Energy did have to go. But Moon can obviously do Frenzy Gouging, which basically just is a delete button. And then of course we have Calamity Storm to disrupt our opponent's stadiums and also do 220 damage. Which against something like God of War, we still hit for weakness, so it's not that major of a deal. Of course Chi-Yu, which I've already mentioned, Durant, which I've already mentioned, and of course Bloodmoon Ursaluna, I've already mentioned. So in terms of supporters, we play 4 Arven, 3 Research, 2 Iono, 2 Boss, and a Jacq. 3 Ultra Ball is our standard count, because obviously we are playing a Precious Trolley as our build. 2 Rare Candy, I think this could go to 3 to be brutally honest, but obviously it's only for the chickens, so keeping it at 2 has been fine for me. 2 Night Stretchers for just general purpose recovery. 2 Buddy Poffin in case Trolley's prized. Precious Trolley, which lets us put any number of basic Pokemon onto our bench and then shuffle the deck. 1 Counter Catcher, 1 Earthen Vessel, a nice good old Switch card. 2 copies of TM Evo to obviously find off our Arvens. 1 copy of Jamming Tower for late game disruption and also our God of War matchup. 3 copies of Basic Fire, 3 copies of Basic Dark, 2 copies of Basic Grass, and 1 copy of 2 copies, of Basic Psychic. Very interesting list this has been to work with, and like I say, it is not a meta list. I don't want anyone thinking it is. It still has consistency issues. It still has an over-reliance on getting Blaziken into play. You could see copies of Crispin coming in here, but the issue is making space. You can't really cut the energy down any further. Same with the Pokemon lineup. Like, you could probably cut the Roaring Moon because you have Zoroark. But then, even then, that's only 1 space. And, like I say, it's a list that is fun. And I have took this to locals. It's done decently okay. But it's definitely far from a meta list. And, like I say, it's something to just think about, like, what this could potentially have. And like I say, the Reshiram is also an option in here. But I think until we figure out, well, until I figure out, because obviously it's my list, until I figure out how best to implement the Reshiram, I don't think I'm going to put a copy of Reshiram in here. At least in something like Ho-Oh Toolbox, you have that option because you have the superior energy retrievals. You can move energy with your Amber Rouge and obviously keeping it in play. This deck relies on it going in the discard, not in play. So, yeah, might be something to think about. Anyway, let's go and have a look and see how what this deck actually does in a match. See you in a moment. And welcome to the match. We're actually paired against someone pretty much on our rank, which is a rarity. So let's go for a cheeky Tails. Tails never fails. And there we go. So this is a list that loves to go second in my personal gameplay experience. Obviously, I've built this deck mostly with no outside help. Like, I've looked up a couple of lists that are similar. Like, there's a Blaziken Zoroark list that's going around. Took a little bit of inspiration from that, but otherwise, like, setting up everything else has been pretty much my own doing. No basic energy in hand, well, basic Pokemon in hand. Obviously, we do have a Dark, but it would have been nice to have had a starter with the TM Evo. But I digress. Excuse me, I was about to say, is our opponent AFK or something? One mulligan, that doesn't really give away a lot. That's good. So we can go for the Torchic start. I am praying this is not a dunk deck because I only have 1 basic and it's 70 HP. Clefairy, could this be God of War? Okay, God of War is a bit shit. Yeah, God of War's a bit shaky, is all I'll say. I have beaten God of War with this deck, but you need to know what you're doing, is all I will say. It's a very tricky matchup. Obviously, we do hit God of War for Dark weakness, and obviously Clefairy is hit for weakness by, well, not hit for weakness, but hit for 200 by Blaziken. So, ultimately, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, there's a research, that's fine. So let's Buddy Poffin, let's have a gander in the deck. So, we have prized. Do not tell me we have prized. No way. We have prized both our Zoroarks, so we don't want this then. Wow. Okay, that is a first for this deck. That's an issue, but we do have both Combusken. Yeah, that's really bad. Okay, we can work with this. We've got our Trolley and Evo, but Jesus. Alright, Trolley. What are we gonna need in this matchup? Munkidori definitely. We're going to need Roaring Moon. We could also put down our Clefairy because it's quite easy to charge it up. But it's a nice easy 190 swing from Garde, so I'm going to put down my Chi-Yu. So there's that. We'll go attachment to the Torchic. TM Evo. Obviously we're not going to put this down. And we will TM Evo both Torchics. Because we have both Combuskins in play. That's crazy. I have never prized both my Zoroarks, so that's bad for us, because this deck doesn't really play anything that can, like, you know, support, support the overall, like, discard stuff. It plays, obviously, Ultra Ball. Obviously, we do play copies of Research, but generally we want to be playing Zoroarks down, like, at least one. But I digress. Let's see what we can do here. Obviously, getting those Combuskins set up is also really good, but obviously we will need, off the Research, we'll need a Fire Energy, and we'll also need a Chicken to get going, because we can take out this Clefairy. That's if he wants to leave this Clefairy in the active. And there's a secret box. So we know it's not Unfair Stamp, which is good for us, but it's still a bit shaky, is all I'll say. Yeah, this matchup is quite tricky to play, because obviously we do have a single prizer, but the single prize is only good. What else did he get rid of there? Mew. Okay, interesting to play the Mew. Yeah, it's an interesting one. But I was tempted looking then. What did he grab? Earthen Vessel, Bravery Charm, and a Research. So he's not going to put the Charm on the Clefairy. I don't think, anyway. It'd be weird if he did, is all I'll say. Obviously, Mega Fire of Envy is a good attack in this matchup. It can deal with all of their single prizes. Even with just the base attack itself, because obviously if they're going for a 2-prizer, Mega Fire of Envy without the damage buff can do some work. And obviously we do have Munkidori. So it's an interesting one. Why are you doing... Hold on a minute. Why are you doing that? Are you going into a God of War straight away with TM Evo? Interesting. That's a weird move, I must say. There's the Evo. There's the Psychic. And Evo. Okay, I don't think I agree with this. Like, you get your Curly and you get your God of War set up, but... You know, I don't think that's the right move. But that's just my take. Especially with a 2-card hand. Let's see if we can punish this, folks. There's a Fez. So we'll go for a Jamming Tower and a Research. There's a Chicken, but we did not get what we need. That is bad. We have whiffed on what we needed, folks. So we'll get rid of the Gouging Fire and the TM Evo. I literally just needed a Fire Energy, is all I needed. We can just collect and draw a card, but it is bad for us now. That's really bad. Whiffing that is huge. For them, that is. Let's see. Screamtail. Screamtail can do some work. Let's see what happens. I think he's going to go over Screamtail and take out my Munkidori. Psychic Embrace. How many does he have in there? 4. So it can do 160. But obviously we can do some shenanigans here. So if he moves 3 off, it's only doing 60 damage. There's Roaring Scream, so it's doing 120. Understandable, Chief. Take out the monkey, take out a big threat. To him, anyway, that is. Okay, let's see what we can do here. That is not helpful. Let's hope our vessel's not prized. There it is. Okay, so we can attack with the we can attack here, but it's not a great attack. So I'm gonna discard. Do I get rid of boss? Because we are behind on prizes, so well we won't be, but we need to get a fire energy out. Do I get rid of a dark energy? I think I do. We're gonna have to attack with the chicken, which feels bad, but we can work with it. So that's Seething Spirit. Attach to the chicken. Attach a fire. See, I could counter catch at this and take it out, take 2 prizes, but then that leaves a Scream Tail, so I'm just gonna attack with a Small Soul. Because we can just retreat and then go into another Blaziken, counter catch the Clefairy, and go from there. So I'm not hugely worried. It's just that Bravery Charm could be an issue. Let's see. Obviously, Gardevoir is a dangerous attacker in this matchup, but now that we have 2 chickens set up and 2 Dark Energy in play, we could potentially go for a Roaring Moon. Take out the Garde. So we started off pretty slow, but we're getting somewhere now. Okay, move the 3 damage off. That's fine. Psychic Embrace. Yeah, he's attacking with a monkey, which is probably his best move. So those cards. Okay, we can respond here with Chi-Yu, but we need a fire energy off the top. And there's the Mind Bend. That's fine. Okay, there's a research. Because I need to put this Dark Energy down anyway to have it in play. We're just going to research. Okay, that has actually just helped us, but we are still whiffing. But we can Ult Ball, get Zorua out, and the Jacq. I think we just fail it. So, because we don't have Night Stretcher, so we can't get Chi-Yu to knock this out. So I think our best option here is to literally just attack with the Roaring Moon, which is bad, but we could just go into another chicken, so I think we're going to do that. So then, Seething Spirit, the Fire Energy to the Blaziken, Seething Spirit again, the Dark Energy, and we just take out one of the monkeys. I'm happy with that. Jamming Tower is obviously causing him an issue, so he's struggling to hit those big numbers, and obviously with both Bravery Charms in the discard pile, unless he's playing like 4, it's getting harder and harder for him to actually take these big knockouts. So, let's see what we do. I'm more worried about the fact that he can now gust that Blaziken and hit it for 190, plus Munkidori for another 30. So I'm more worried about the fact that he could take my energy acceleration out of play, which is an issue. So let's see what he can do, because obviously we can just go in with Roaring Moon now. If he takes out the Chi-Yu, I'm not hugely bothered. If he takes out the Torchic, again, not hugely bothered. It's more the fact that I don't want him to take out the Chi-Yu, because Chi-Yu can obviously take out that Scream Tail. Is he going to attack with the Gardevoir though? Because it's an interesting one. Of course, if you look at the time difference, Gardevoir players love to take the mick. So he's retreating, going into the Scream Tail. Is he going to take out the Chi-Yu or the Torchic? Arguably, his best line is to take out the Torchic, because that limits my ability in play. Well, my Blazikens, that is. And like I said, both our Zoroarks are still sat in the prize card, sitting pretty, so it's not looking good. If he's only doing 60, he can take out the Chi-Yu. Adrenabrain. He doesn't do enough to take out that Blaziken on the bench, so I'm not hugely worried. You don't hit that anyway for enough knockout. Just means we're going to have to Calamity Storm anything. Counter Catcher. The other chicken. Okay, that's pretty bad actually. What can we do here? We need an Ultra Ball or something off the top. Or a Research or something, because this is bad. Roaring Scream, probably hit the Roaring Moon. No, he's taking that to you. He loves taking out my single prizes, don't he? Okay, so we need a miracle off this top deck. And that is not a miracle. Right, that gives him a free turn, and that is a frightening prospect with God War. So we're just going to attach and pass. This is not good at all. This is really not good. You can now see why this deck relies on that Zoroark so much. Having both of them in the prize cards is really, really, really bad. Let's put it that way. I don't think we're going to win this one, personally. But let's see. Psychic Embrace. So you can now do 160. You can actually take out that Roaring Moon. This is a frightening prospect. We've given him a free turn, which I really didn't want. I need a Night Stretcher off the top to potentially do something here. Roaring Scream for 160. Probably hit the active? No, he's hitting the Roaring Moon on a bench. Okay. Right, we need a miracle off the top. That is not a miracle. This is looking really bad. We could swing with Combusken for 10, which would be funny. Because then we're forcing him to Gust. You know what? We're actually going to do that. Go into the Torchic. Thieving Spirit. Put the fire on the Torchic. And then we'll use Thieving Spirit on the Psychic Energy. Pop it on the Blaziken. And we will Combusken for 10 and take a knockout. I never thought I'd get a knockout with that attack, I'll be brutally honest. There's a Night Stretcher. That explains why we've not been seeing them, because I only played 2 in here. It's all the room I have in here, to be honest. I don't think we're winning this one, folks, I'll be brutally honest, but the fact that we got to use Combusken for 10 is good enough for me. I'm hoping he doesn't have Gust for that Roaring Moon, because he's already played... He's played 2 counter catchers, but he's not played any boss. And the fact that he could have a boss is concerning. And a Research. Okay, that's fine. He's getting low on cards, though. There's a Dark Energy. Oh, wait, he can take 2 prizes here. Adrenabrain, all 6 off. Take out the Roaring Moon. Oh boy, this is bad. You can take 2 prizes and then attack with the Gardevoir and take out the Torchic. Oh boy. You can now see why the Gardevoir matchup is really shaky. Down goes Roaring Moon. Great. Oh, this is a rough matchup. But as you can see, his timer is just so much longer because of how long Garde players take to make their moves. This is why I don't like facing Garde challenges and cups. Because they just take forever. Night Stretcher. Screamtail again. He really loves that Screamtail. If we get boss off the top, we could win this turn. That's if we get boss. Have we played any boss? We've got 1 in the discard pile. If we top deck boss, that is a win. We could also Night Stretcher back to Fez, but I don't think we need to. This is really, really bad. Let's put it that way. He's got no counter catches left. Roaring Scream. Probably ding the Blaziken. Or ding the other one. Okay, fair enough. That's an interesting move. That's a Zorua. So we can go for a Night Stretcher. Get our Munkidori back. We can then... Do we have a basic energy in the discard? We do. We have a Dark in there. Good. So we can Seething Spirit. We can take out this Scream Tail. I'm going to move 3 damage off this Blaziken. Knock out this Scream Tail. I'm hoping for a boss off the prizes. Thank God for that. We needed that. That's game. That is game. Wow. How did we win that? Wow. And look, there's both our Zoroarks. That is insane. I'm sweating after that. Sheesh. Right, well, that was down to luck, so sorry, Pam. I'm not going to claim that was skill. That was luck. Like, wow. Let's go to game 2 and see how the deck does, because that was close. And welcome back. I needed a minute to breathe after that one. That was a very lucky win. Wow, that was crazy. We didn't have our draw the entire game from Zoroark, and we still won that against Garde, as you were just picking off our board. That is crazy. Wow. I can't get over that one. That's definitely one that I'm really happy with. Oh no, he's making us go first. This deck hates going first. Oh, we got Trolley. That's actually really good. So we'll start the Torchic and we'll start the Zorua. That's a really good start, actually. Mew-EX. Okay, that's fine. A lot of decks play that. So press Trolley. So we'll get Gouging Fire. In fact, no, Clefairy is easy to power up. Munkidori. I think we just grabbed 2 chickens. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Attach basic psychic to the Torchic and pass. I'll take that as a start. That is completely acceptable. I'm hoping for Rare Candy off of the research, which we could use. Obviously, we're going to use the Zoroark first. Put the Zoroark down. Trade away the other Zoroark. In fact, no, we probably want to research first. I wonder what we're facing, though. Let's see. He's obviously doing prize checking, which I did not bother to do because I am too exhausted after that first game. I'm so glad that Garde player took the L, though, because, like, they were really playing slow, and I hate slow players. Like, they were taking forever to make moves. Which I understand if you're, like, new to the deck, and obviously Garde is quite a complicated deck, but still. Let's see what he gets off the nest ball when he finishes prize checking. Thunderous. Oh, this is Miraidon. This is Miraidon. Arven. Does he prize his Miraidons then? He's got to have done. Because you would grab a Miraidon off of that, wouldn't you? Nest Ball Air Balloon, sure. Obviously, our single prizer can be coming up in this matchup against the Thunderous, but obviously if he leaves damage in play, we can take out the Thunderous from Munkidori. Tandem Unit. One of the most insane abilities. All I'll say is, the day Miraidon players get this reprint as a future tag Pokemon is the day that most Miraidon players will probably lose it, like, generally. Okay, Generator, let's hope they whiff, or at least get only 1. And he gets 2, of course he does, because Miraidon plays like 15,000 energy. Energy attachment. Is he going to go in with the arm press? I don't think he should, personally. He can if he wants, but it won't really benefit him. There's Squawk. That's bad. Squawk is really bad here. It's a nice easy Gust target, but it's not something I want to be dealing with. He's going to get the Thank you very much. But obviously not having Tynamos in play, I could hard punish this if I get the right draw. Could also just attack with Munkidori as well. I can feel the Miraidon player shaking in his boots right now because he's gone to do an Thank you very much turn 2. Let's just say there's a lot of hand movements, probably hand putting under the table. Alright, so I'm going to promote the Monkey. Because we can potentially get what we need off of this. There's an Iono. I would want to hand disrupt them, and to be honest, given we're only getting one less card, I'm going to do that. Okay, there's a Combusken. So we'll trade away the Durant, because Durant doesn't really come up in this matchup. Oh, that's bad. Okay, that is really, really bad. Like, really bad. We can Night Stretch back the Torchic, I guess. Well, in fact, no. Do we want that? Durant can potentially come up, so I'm going to take the Durant back. Body Poffin, fail it. Vessel, fire. Take a grass and a dark. Do we put Durant down? Because how much damage is Durant doing? He's doing 150, 180, 210, 240 after prizes. So yeah, I think we put down the Durant. We might as well sudden cheering, get rid of an energy. I'm going to attach to the Durant and pass. This is not looking good. This looks really bad. See, this is why this deck is considered a fun deck, because when you meet a deck like this, which can just go Thank you very much every single turn, because this deck takes a while to set up, it can be really tricky to get going. If we do manage to get the Durant return swing, they have no energy in play. Well, they have one now, but still. There's the Amp. I'm going to promote the Durant in case we get a Blaziken off the Zoroark draw. Because we can come back from this, funnily enough, because we have the Durant now. Durant's doing 240. There's an Evo, so we can discard that off the trade. There's a Jacq, that saves our bacon. So we get 2 chickens. Evolve. Evolve. I'm not going to Night Stretch for anything, we don't need to, we just need Seething Spirit. Attach Fire Energy to the Durant. Seething Spirit again. Attach to the Durant. I'm going to attach Psychic Energy to Clefairy, because Clefairy can be a good attacker in this matchup. And Ventral Crush for 240. We can come back from this. It's not going to be easy, but we can. Because they chose to not set up a Dynamo, they can't put energy into play as effectively. Their best option is to just sit behind this. Sit behind this Thunderous and hope I don't find a boss. But even then, Iron Hands would have to find a way to gust around and do 2 prizes. But he can't, because Durant has 190 HP, even with a future booster, which some are playing. He only does 180, and then I can just retreat this thing. And then Night Stretch for Munkidori, move 3 damage off and take it out with Blaziken. Okay, there's a Lightning Energy to Squawk. If he attacks with a Squawk, that does actually set up Iron Hand's math, so we need to be careful of that. But we can just Night Stretcher back at Munkidori, attach a Darkness Energy for turn. There's a Magnemite, that could be an issue. Is he attacking with a Squawk? Yes, he is. Okay. That is fine. Because we can move 3 damage off the Iron Hand, or the 2 damage off the Durant. And attach it to the Iron Hands. If we can boss this Iron Hands, that'd be beautiful. Take it out of play. Okay, preparing the Miraidon. That's fine. There's Gouging Fire. Gouging Fire is a pretty good attacker right now. So, trade. Discard the Torchic. There's an Arven. We can Arven for Counter Catcher if we have it. There we go. We can thin out the Evo as well. So I think, based on what we have, let's go for the Night Stretcher. Grab the Munkidori. Bench said Munkidori. Do we need to attach? No, because we can retreat the Durant. So we can attach to the Munkidori safely. We then retreat the Fire Energy and the Grass Energy off the Durant. Bring up a Blaziken. Adrenaline 2 off the Durant. And we'll pop it on the Miraidon. Then we can attach this here to get rid of it. Seething Spirit to the active. And Seething Spirit again. We could also take out Mew, but I value taking out the attacker here. And Small Assault for 200. Take it out. If he's got game with Magneton Boss on, I don't know, Munkidori, he has it, but let's see. If he's got it, he's got it. Because I'll be honest, this deck has put up a much better fight than I thought it would in this matchup. Because all he needs now is Magneton plus Boss, and he has game. So there's the Magneton. Does he have the Boss? Because he has Boss for Munkidori and then Amp for game. Overvolt Discharge. So that gives us a prize card. But that's fine. Yeah, he's doing to the Iron Hands. Let's see if he has the Boss. He should have the Boss, theoretically. But I wouldn't be mad if he did. Because, like I say, we had a really good comeback. And yep, there's the Boss. He didn't BM. He played it pretty well there. Like I say, managed to amp twice. That's just all you need. And yeah, GG's. I'll take that loss. That's fine with me. He didn't BM. He just did what he needed to do and then played the Boss. I'll take that. That's fine with me. Could have probably done that turn without the Munkidori, but I wanted to take out the attacker. That was the main thing. But even then, he had the Boss for Durant or Lillie's Clefairy, so it wouldn't have mattered. But either way. So what do I think of this deck? Well, obviously, as I said, I'm a Homer boy, so I'm a little bit biased, but I really do think this deck is fun. Like, it's not a deck that, as you'll see, is the most consistent. Obviously, in Game 1, we had 0 Zoroarks, which really put a hamper on us, but we still managed to claw that win back. And if we had a way to hand disrupt with the Iono in that last turn, we could have potentially really gotten something going. Like, we could have hand disrupted, set up another attacker and stuff like that, but it just wasn't to be, unfortunately. But like I say, this is definitely a deck that if you want to play it, I would suggest playing it if you're just looking for something fun. I think, personally, the Embor build that has a little bit more flexibility could be better. But I might have to try the Embor build and see how that works, because it's a good idea, and obviously with it playing Iron Hands anyway, with Inferno Fandango plus basic Lightning Energy attach, I think it'd be fine, but it's something to definitely look into. Anyway, we'll leave it all to it for today. Really hope you enjoyed seeing the Blaziken Toolbox in action, and I'll see you next time.